The CYENS Weekly, an industry pundit podcast about the tech and innovation of the 21st century. An open discussion between industry experts to uncover how emerging technologies can help solve current societal issues.
So today we have with us Andreas Kamilaris. He's the SuPerWorld Research Group Leader at CYENS. First of all, thank you for being with us. And Andrea, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the work that you do at CYENS.
Thank you, Maria. It's a pleasure to be here. Actually, I need first to say that I prefer to be called as coordinator of the group because most of the work that I do is in collaboration with four amazing individuals who are Savas, Chirag, Indrahit and Asfa. So we together come from different backgrounds and we have this multidisciplinary team putting things together. So we work on aspects of environmental monitoring and modeling with a focus on large-scale Earth observation using emerging technologies like drones, satellite images and techniques like computer vision and deep learning, geospatial analysis, as well as sensors and Internet of Things, which is ground field stuff, in order to model the physical environment, monitor it, and try to answer questions that relate to policies or sustainability in general.
That's amazing. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned environment. One subject that is, very important and relevant to everyone is global warming. Can you please tell me what are we facing right now and how can Cyprus become more sustainable, satisfy its goal for the Green Deal?
Well, that's a long discussion, but I understand that it's a timely thing. So the correlation is immediate. Global warming is an effect of climate change, which is a worrying situation right now occurring. I think that it's a very serious challenge for our species. It's something that is occurring, and some people say that we lost the train for no effects of climate change or of global warming. So now we are in the focus of mitigating those effects to the least negative effect, which is an increase of 1.5 degrees of our planet by the end of the century. In order to achieve that, we need to do enormous changes in the way society works, especially try to decarbonize as much as possible our operations. So in this regard, my group is trying to contribute to better monitoring of the environment, where when we say environment, mostly we understand physical environment, but we also speak here about the urban environment and the interactions of humans with this environment, as well as aspects of biodiversity, animals, plants, which is aspects of the physical environment. So there are many changes that need to be done in many different areas of and industries of the operations of our species, and we try to provide solutions and suggestions to many of those areas on how to become more sustainable and how to reduce the negative effects of climate change.
Okay. What do you think can be done on an individual level? You, me, and every other person here to better the situation?
Yeah. So I think that the biggest change that needs to happen in this regard is institutional change. However, to achieve an institutional change, citizens need to be fully aware about the problem and its significance so that they put pressure to politicians, policy and decision makers in order to take proper decisions, as well as to vote people who aim to take action. Still, the individual action is important in many areas, and the goal is to reduce substantially our carbon footprint. And let's say, starting from the most important actions to the least important, I would say that reducing our meat consumption is a crucial one. Also, trying to consume products that do not travel a lot, do not have a lot of carbon footprint, like seasonal products that are produced locally. And for those people who have the possibility to do investments in their homes to use renewable energy, sustainable technologies, electric cars, as long as the infrastructures were based on renewable energy sources, those will be the important goals. Less important ones, but still substantial in a combined community effort, include recycling and reuse of waste one way or another, less trips by car or by airplane or even using a bike, which there are some incentives now by the government. So I would say there are a range of possibilities for individual level, others more important, others less important, but it's very important that people become aware. So they create and change the public opinion about the significance of this problem, so that they put pressure on politicians to take action and to shape policies which are more environmentally friendly.
You mentioned empowering citizens to do this. How can we empower citizens, let's say through technology? Can you give us a few examples of how we could achieve this?
Well, actually, that's one of the aspects that science is good at, and also the group I am leading is also good at. And I have some recent examples based on the disasters that we had, where we use technology in order to empower people. The one example is this mobile app we developed and which was later adopted by the government of Cyprus to be used as the official app for the whole of Cyprus for contact tracing of COVID-19, and it was called CovTracer. So by using this app, people could become aware when somebody close to them had the disease and whether they had been exposed to the disease, so that they could immediately self-isolate and take proper measures to make sure that they will not infect others. So this was a way to empower citizens through technology to contain the disease and not spread it. Another example, which we are currently in discussion with some relevant departments of the government, is a project we developed about modeling wildfires, the way they propagate, and using mobile apps which allow people who are close to the fire to safely escape. So we create evacuation plans to people, and it's a pity that we were not ready before those 4 Egyptians died recently, which is a tragedy. And the idea is that we want to empower people through these mobile apps when there is a wildfire, or maybe also in other scenarios that we did not yet consider, like flooding or landslides or urban evacuation situations, to use this app, take advantage of the AI-based calculations that are used to propose them escape paths, and safely evacuate the area where they are in danger.
You have done some absolutely amazing work so far. I just want to ask you, if we could somehow, take away all constraints and barriers, what is one project you would want to work on and be known for that one project?
Well, first, about the amazing work, let me tell you that a big problem in academia is to take this research that happens and materialize and create innovation. So in this regard, I still think that we need to improve our products, test them, and use them with actual users. So for example, of the CovTracer and the Escape wildfires, we had actual users, so we tested those applications, and we believe that they are reliable to be used in the market. So in this sense, I think that science is doing a good job to take research and to transfer it to higher technology readiness level, so that they can become industrial products and products for citizens. Our motto is human-oriented anyway. About your question about this one project, what I want to do relates to climate change and to what we can do as a country to address this issue. So actually it's a project that I started working on with the Department of Environment. So I will describe it, and I will mention also some aspects of my vision about it. So we are right now modeling in high definition the the land use around Cyprus. So we want to know at a meter accuracy which is the type of land. Is it a vineyard? Is it an olive trees? Agricultural field? Is it a street? Is it a dirty road? Is it urban area? Is it industrial area? Based on this land mapping, we can then understand through the digital twins that the center is developing the emissions of the country, and this will allow us to have a complete image, a quantified picture of the emissions of Cyprus, then define the goals for 2030 and for 2050 that are aligned with the Green Deal in an effort to decarbonize Cyprus in line with the global efforts to have net zero carbon by 2050, which is an ambitious goal that we all aim at. And as a second step, together with the Department of Environment of the Government of Cyprus, decide which are the best strategies, the sustainability paths in every different industry in order to reduce emissions. So either related to agriculture or aviation or traffic and transportation networks, economy, industry, circular economy, reuse of waste, so that each sector contributes with its own part in order to reach those ambitious goals. So we want to be part of it. That's my main, let's say, ambition, which is actually a bit tangible since we already started working in the first step of it, but there is a long way to go and we need the collaboration with all stakeholders of the Cypriot society and economy to do it.
Well, best of luck, and we look very forward to seeing this, happening, starting and being able to see its actual effects. It has been an absolute pleasure having you with us today, and thank you so much for your time, Andrea.
You're welcome.
This podcast is brought to you by CYENS, former RISE, the Research Centre of Excellence in Cyprus, focusing on interactive media, smart systems and emerging technologies. For more information, please check our website on cyens.org.cy.